Welcome to Brindavan, a Parthasadi family Samarpanam to our beloved parents, a space for enjoying Vaishnava Sampradaya, slokas, songs, Divyadesa Pasarams, and much more. Namaskaram Bhagavatas. Today in our Ayiram Namangal, Ayiram Gunangal, we will enjoy the Arthanubhavam of Slokam 75. Dhanyosmi for joining us. रामानुजदयापात्रं ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणं श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यं वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकं श्रीशैलेशदयापात्रं दीपत्यादिगुणात्मकं यतीन्द्रप्रवणं वन्दे रम्यजामातरं मुनिम्.
सद्गतिः सत्कृतिः सत्ता सद्भूतिः सत्परायणः शूरसेनो यदुश्रेष्ठः सन्निवासः सुयामुनः.
The first nama in Slokam 75 is Sadgatihi. He destroys the asuras and protects the virtuous ones as he manifests in the form of Bhagavan in his avatar. During the Krishna avatar, this is a continuation of Krishna avatar. Kamsa had actually tied Vasudeva's leg to the prison doors, and so Bhagavan removed him from the clutches of the metal wires, and then he allowed Vasudeva to take him by opening the doors of the prison. Bhagavan opened the doors of the prison that were locked by Kamsa and released Vasudeva to take himself to Yashoda and Nandagopa. The little just born baby Krishna was taken to Nandagopa once Vasudeva was released from the clutches of Kamsa's tying him. The Nama is Sadgataye Namaha. Next we will see Sat Kritihi. Sat is good, lovable. Kriti is kind of acts or any action that one does. Sat Kriti, he does all good things. He does very lovable acts. Some example of like little Krishna stealing the butter and making himself being tied by a rope by Yashoda Mata. And he's playing the divine flute and making everybody come to him and have fun. He had fun with the Gopikas in the Gokulam on the banks of river Yamuna, which is known as Rasakridai. All these are common childhood pranks of a child. But Bhagavan, even though he was Perumal, he did all these childhood pranks, so that all his bhaktas could enjoy the little child and be happy along with him. So he does all these good acts or these noble acts which make him very lovable. No one can say, I do not like Krishna. Krishna as a child is so sweet and he is the beloved of everybody. It's so nice to see a child doing little pranks, and Bhagavan, when Bhagavan does it, it's even more lovable and noble. Nama is Sat Kritaye Namaha. We will now see the name Satta or the Nama Satta. He is one with the sadhus and he makes them do what they do, and nothing exists without him. He says in Bhagavad Gita, nothing exists without me. I am the master of everything. I am inside everything and I make everything happen. That is what Bhagavan says in Bhagavad Gita. Nama is Sattaya Namaha. The next Nama we are going to be saying is Sat Bhutihi. Sat again is good. He is a son of Devaki and Vasudeva as well as Nandagopa and Yashoda. He is a friend of Sudama. He is the nephew of Kunti, the Pandavas' mother. He is a messenger of the Pandavas to Duryodhana, and he is a charioteer to Arjuna, to the good people, to all the good people, and considers it his privilege. He plays several roles, as we have seen in this. He considers it his privilege because all of them are good people. Devaki and Vasudeva, Nandagopa and Yashoda, Sudama, Kunti, Arjuna, Pandavas, all of them are good people. So being related to them, doing acts for them, he feels he considers it his privilege. Nama is Sadbhutaye Namaha. We will now see Sat Parayanaha. He supports all the good people, as he said to Duryodhana in Mahabharata. When he goes as a messenger of the Pandavas to Duryodhana, and Duryodhana refuses to accept that he has his folly, he asks Duryodhana, "Do you want me or my army?" But Duryodhana, thinking that Krishna's army is so big, he asks for the army. He says, then Krishna says, "Okay, take my army. Mama pranaha hi Pandava." He says, my prana, my basis or my life is the Pandava. Pandavas are my life, so I will give them myself. He is the intellectual final dwelling place of all of the sadhus. So he is Sat Parayanaha. Nama is Sat Parayanaya Namaha. We will now see Sura Senaha. Sena is army. Sura, he has a great army. He has a great armies of the Yadavas and the Pandavas. He relieved the Bhumi of the burden of the Kauravas and the Asuras. So he eliminated all the wicked people and the bad people with his army of the Yadavas and the Pandavas, who were the great army. Nama is Sura Senaya Namaha. Namalvar in his Tiruvamazhi 6.4.10 sings how Lord Krishna does the Bharata Por or the Mahabharata Por, Mahabharata fight, and he removed he eliminated the Asuras. மண்மிசை பெரும் பாரம் நீங்க ஓர் பாரத பெரும்போர் பண்ணி மாயங்கள் செய்து சேனை பாழ்பட நூற்றிட்டு போய் விண்மிசை தனதாமே புக மேவிய சோதி தந்தாள் நன்னினான் வணங்க பெற்றேன் எனக்கு ஆர்பிறர் நாயகரே. He says that Nayaka or that hero of mine did the big Mahabharata Por, and he removed all the bad people from the earth. So he removed the burden of the earth. Namalvar Tiruvamazhi 6.4.10. We will now see Yadu Sreshtaha. Yadu is the Yadava community. He was born in the Yadava community, and how much he enjoyed with them. He made them enjoy him. They were very sadhus. They did not know anything. They just followed what Lord Krishna said. That is the best thing what somebody can do. Just follow what Bhagavan says. Don't keep questioning. So the Yadavas, they were very simple people. They did not know much about the world. And he elevated them because they were depressed. The Yadu lineage. So he was called the Yadu Sreshta. Sreshta is highest. So he was a Yadu Sreshta. He was a Yadukula Tilaka. He was the chieftain of the Yadava Kulas and elevated them. Nama is Yadusrestaya Namaha. Sannivasaha. Sannivasa, we also say is the environment. So he is one who is, when we are in the Sannivesam of Bhagavan, or when we are along with him, we are in the best environment. Sananda, and other seers or other learned people who are flawless, they attain their yogic powers by meditating on Bhagavan, by being very close to him. Sannivasam is to be close to one. So they were very close to Bhagavan and they kept him on the tip of his nose, according to Vishnu Purana, and they became flawless. So Nama is Sannivasaya Namaha. Suya Muna is the last Nama in Slokam 75. His Leelas on the banks of the Yamuna river with all the gopikas is really very auspicious, and it's very fascinating to see how Bhagavan plays his flute, his Venuganam, and brings everybody together. How he does Jalakrida with the gopikas in the banks of river Yamuna. His Rasa Krida, where he shows multiple forms of himself with each one. Each Gopika thinking that Krishna is only for himself and is unable to see that this Krishna is there with everybody in multiple forms, is a very beautiful and fascinating and auspicious act. And he gave salvation to all the people who lived on the banks of river Yamuna. So here, Suyamunaha. Nama is Suyamunaya Namaha. Andal, in her fifth song in Tirupavai, sings about how Bhagavan plays on the banks of river Yamuna with his gopikas. Mayanai மண்ணு வடமதுரை மைந்தனை தூய பெருநீர் யமுனை துறைவனை ஆயர் குலத்தில் தோன்றும் மணிவிளக்கை தாயை குடல் விளக்கம் செய்த தாமோதரனை தூயோமாய் வந்து நாம் தூமலர் தூவித் தொழுது வாயினால் பாடி மனத்தினால் சிந்திக்க போயப்பழியும் புகுதருவான் நின்றனவும் தீயினில் தூஷாகும் செப்பேலோர் எம்பாவாய். She is saying about that Mayan who is on the banks of the Yamuna river in Vadamathura. He is the king of the Yadukulam. And how he became Damodaran. He allowed Yashoda Mata to tie him up. So we are going to pray to that Bhagavan, and all the problems we have will be like a douche, it will all be like a dust and go away. Andal Tirupavai, 5th Pasara. To summarize Slokam 75, he destroys the asuras, or the wicked people, and protects the virtuous ones as he manifests in his avatarams. He does lovable and noble acts like stealing butter, being tied by Yashoda Mata, playing the divine flute, and having fun with Gopikas in Gokulam in Rasakrida. He is one of the sadhus and nothing exists without him. He is son of Devaki and Vasudeva and Nandagopa and Yashoda. He plays several roles. He is friend of Sudama. He is a nephew for Kunti and messenger for Pandavas and charioteer for Arjuna. He does different roles. He supports all good people, as he said to Duryodhana Mahabharata, Mama prana hi Pandava. He said, the Pandavas are my life. He has a great army of the Yadavas, and he relieved the bhumi of all the Kauravas and the Asuras. He elevated the depressed Yadu lineage or the Yadukulam. So he is Yasusrishta. Sananda and other seers who are flawless, they have attained their yogic powers by meditating on Bhagavan, keeping him very close to them on the tip of their nose, as said in Vishnu Purana. His leelas on the banks of the Yamuna river as Jalakrida, plucking flowers, and Rasakrida with the Gopas were fascinating and auspicious and gave salvation to people there. This brings us to end of Slokam 75. See you all in 76. Dhanyosmi for listening.